Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your reading for the week ahead for May 8th. I went ahead and pulled the cards already, so let's go ahead and just dive right in and see what we have. We're starting out with what it is that you need to release, and I have three of those fulfillment, but in this particular imagery, I'm really getting hit hard with the imagery in here that really is connected with ancestor. So this just lets me think of this image of the snakes here really pulls on that DNA structure, the DNA strands that we often see. The tree behind this image, and I just feel like there are connections that you have right now that you're holding tight regarding your ancestors that you can't quite let go. So I know that analogy that comes to mind whenever I say that is there are a lot of people I see that are trying to sort of recreate what they considered their ancestors to have done way back in the day, trying to figure out and recreate what once was and make it take part in today. And so there's too much of a hold on that, and it's kind of blocking you from growing. Now that might not be the specific analogy for you, but that is an analogy that you can kind of pull from. There's something regarding your ancestors, there's something regarding what you understood or you think that their expectations are, and as a result of it, it's keeping you from growing, it's keeping you from experiencing more. And so they're just letting you know this particular week, if you really want to tap into expanding your spiritual connections, especially if you're trying to tap into connecting with your ancestors a little bit more, your ideas of what they are and what they desire has to change for that to happen. So if you can let go and release that, you're going to open up some communication lines that you are wanting, but it's being blocked right now because of that expectation that you're entering with. Now, what you have to focus on, what is it you need to focus on? Two of Stones, challenge. I do feel like there are some challenges that you need to sort of work through. One of them is whatever it is that you feel the expectation is definitely part of that. But there are some things that you are starting to kind of come up against regarding to a balance in some regard, or a connection in some regard, how things are coming together, a symmetry of something, and it's kind of creating a bit of a challenge in and of itself. I'm getting also told this can be work related, so there's a little bit of a pushback regarding something with work. It's either something at work is kind of distracting you, and so you're at a point where you're trying to balance your spiritual life and your more physical, tangible life. They may feel like they're two different entities that you're trying to balance. You haven't gotten to a point where maybe they're not as seamlessly integrated. Maybe you have the sort of job or lifestyle that you can't integrate it for whatever the reason or for whatever the case may be. But this kind of lack of balance is part of the challenge. And however that may be connected with this, it's up to each of you and your personal experience this week as far as how much these kind of play off of each other and how much these might be two separate things. But take that however you will. But definitely the challenges that you're going to there are some challenges that you're going to face this week. And I feel like one of the reasons why it's falling into the what it is that you need to focus on category is because you may feel the desire to kind of dismiss it or overlook it or just leave it till later. And they're letting you know, don't leave it till later. Kind of work it out right now. Even if you work it out mentally and kind of have a game plan that is flexible that you can kind of bounce off of, the biggest thing is they don't want you just to dismiss it and kind of step over it. They do want you to give it a little bit of attention, because that's going to give you there's a foothold. They said foothold. It's going to give you a foothold in some way. So whatever this is just kind of the tip of it or the beginning of it. And you know that this isn't new news to you. If I make this statement, this is not new news to you. You're already aware of this. So don't just overlook it or overstep it or dismiss it. Make sure you're giving it its due diligence, analyzing, breaking it down before you push it aside. Once you've kind of taken it in and you understand it, you can set it aside and deal with it later, but you've got to give it that initial attention that it requires, and you'll know it when it happens. What's available to you, we have responsibility. I feel like that's coming in strong with that Two of Stones challenge. There's definitely a sense of accountability and responsibility that whatever this is referencing, however it unfolds this week, what's one of the reasons why you're being told they don't want you to ignore this, is because there's an element of accountability in some regard regarding this. There is responsibility, obligation. It is something that is necessary. It's something that needs to be done. It's something that I feel like you're aware of this. So I'm not really telling you anything that you don't already know. Now, what I do feel like I do want to continue with as far as this card is that I see a lot of yellow in this imagery, and I feel there's quite a bit of yellow, despite the fact that that's not the primary color in this card. There is a lot of yellow hues in this card, and I feel like one of the reasons why that is coming through is tapping into that solar plexus. It's reminding me of that solar plexus. So this is a self-confidence, self-esteem thing, whatever it is involved in that. And so how you give yourself permission to act or react or respond to this, or even just let go or dismiss it or overlook it or try to avoid it, this is all going to both represent what your self-confidence, self-esteem is, as well as where your self-confidence and self-esteem has permission to go. So it all factors in some way. This makes sense to you more than it does me because you are experiencing this, but don't dismiss this. This is all playing a part in self-esteem and self-confidence, and it's going to take you somewhere in the future. It's groundwork for some future stuff that and that feels job related. When I start talking about that, that feels job related regarding future stuff that is going to really help you with self-confidence, self-esteem, and where that can carry you in the future. So again, as in some regard, this doesn't necessarily, from this point of view, this tail end of that and how I've brought these two together, doesn't necessarily feel like it's tied in with this. However, your connection and understanding of your ancestors' expectation might actually play a part in how open you are in receiving what they have to offer you regarding the situation and your self-esteem. And so if you can change this narrative, it actually opens up the pathways for them to guide you through this and to assist you to build your self-esteem and to let you know that they have your back and that you can call on them as you are moving through whatever the situation is. All right, that's all I have for you, Gemini. I hope this has made sense to you in more ways than it has made to me. And hopefully it has prepared you as you move through the week ahead and you feel a boost to your self-confidence. And I will see you in a future video.